Okay, hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of our Reign of the Warlock review series. So I've been hard at work with a hero editor that was provided online by a developer much more skilled than I. Not that I'm a developer by any means. I do a little D2 modding, so that's the extent of what I do. But anyway, this guy made an online app that you can easily Google search this. It's basically like a hero trainer, but it's on the internet, so it's browser based. So with the help of his browser-based editor there, I managed to get all these rune words together here so that we could, test out the Warlock and especially the Echoing Blades build as well as the Cleave build and see what's good. So one thing I want to showcase to you guys right now is these numbers are going to be a bit nuts. So, don't feel like you have to... you have to be able to pull off these same numbers with your Warlock. You'll get there one day, but okay, get ready for it, guys. So basically what we have here, I'll show you everything one by one. So on our Mercenary, we have a Pride Pole Arm for the 20% concentration aura, as well as the Might aura on our Mercenary, currently at level 18. That goes up much higher, right? The higher up the Mercenary levels. Only got him at level 85. So 2 auras from him. Then we have a Fanaticism. Let me just show you guys. Where's the Unsummon skill? Unsummon. We have a, it says Aura Enchanted, but you can see there's a Fanaticism being given from this demon. Now, these demons, you can easily farm them for Travancore. So just head on down to Travancore, and you can easily farm them from there, no problem. So as far as the build here, guys, what I have is pretty standard. I maxed out Levitation Mastery, I maxed out Echoing Strike, maxed out Blade Warp, maxed out Mirrored Blades. Okay, so all of these are really Mirrored Blades synergizes with Echoing Strike, and then Blade Warp as well as Levitation Mastery give more damage for the Echoing Strike, right? You don't really need something like Hex Purge when you're doing Echoing Strike. That's more for like a Mirrored Blades or maybe like a Cleave build. We took our remaining points here. We put 1 point into Demonic Mastery, 1 into Blood Oath, 1 into all the prereqs, and then maxed out Bind Demon, right? So we get a nice strong Bind Demon as well for our Bind Demon skill here. As you see, that worked out well for us. So now onto the damage. So as you guys can see, that's pretty crazy damage. 60k to 165k. Okay, now that's being further boosted when you go into the advanced stats tab here. That's further boosted by our 87% deadly strike. So this is effectively 100% for all intents and purposes. You're 13% shy of 100%, so it's almost an instant proc every time. And you're hitting for that much damage, so it's actually double this amount every time. My math isn't great, but just doing some quick math here would be something like 330k on the top end, I believe, and 120 on the low end. If my math is wrong, I'm sure someone can correct me in the comments, but you're looking at effectively about 120 to 320k. Alright, 330 actually, k, if my math is correct here. So that's pretty crazy. Now, what's causing all of this damage? What is our setup? What are we using? So again, guys, this is all top-end gear. It's modified single player. There's very cheap alternatives, and I will discuss those in the video that you can use. But right now, the weapon of choice is Doom. Now, why Doom, right? So Doom in a Thunder Maul gives you obscene damage, 237 to 1,309. It also gives +2 to skills, which, believe it or not, gives you a massive damage boost, especially when you're using something like a Thunder Maul. It gives you lots of enhanced damage. Now again, I've got a 15% superior base and a perfect roll. That's not going to be the case for you, so you might be looking at something closer to like 1,100 max damage and somewhere around maybe like 190 to 200 minimum damage. I'm like, that's still great. That's still amazing. I've just maxed out all these items statistically just for fun, right? You don't have to have perfect everything. Anyway, so okay, so you're getting the +2 skills, you're getting obscene enhanced damage, you're also getting critically the 20% deadly strike, which is helping to meet this very high threshold of the 87%, right? Now, the 60% chance of crushing blow I don't think works with Echoing Strike, so it's kind of wasted, which is a real shame. Doom also does not have indestructible, so it's not like you could use like cleave or mirroring blades to make use of that crushing blow. Excuse me, guys, I just had some pizza. So you know, it is what it is. It's a trade-off, but that's okay. You're still hitting for just absolutely obscene damage. Now, what's the rest of our gear here, so you guys can have a look? So I've got perfect steel rents. You can get a lesser pair for next to nothing. These are not very in-demand gloves. Maybe that'll change now with the new patch, but I doubt it. These are some homemade, again, I did these with like a hero trainer, crafted rings. You're obviously not going to have anything this OP with like 25 strength, 20 dexterity, blah, blah, blah. This is just for me while I'm playing around, you know, analyzing different setups and things in the game, just so I have an easy time. Just a bit of resistance boost, mana leech, life leech. These can easily be substituted with like Raven Frost or like Sojas or BK rings, or you name it. There's a million rings, right? You can have like a Dwarf Star and a Wisp for the Absorb. You can have like so many different combinations, so we're not gonna worry about it. We have the Arachnids matched for the extra faster cast rate, because again, Echoing Strike, a lot of people don't know, it works based on faster cast and not increased attack speed. Okay, that's why we're not worrying about the increased attack speed. We're using G-Face with one of the new jewels, which helps for physical damage. I forget the exact name of it, something like Stone Protector or something. So if you don't recognize some of the mods on this G-Face, they come from the new jewel. Like for example, minus 8% to enemy physical damage, that's from the jewel. 10 to 30 damage, that's from the jewel. 46% enhanced damage, again from the jewel. So very powerful. And I would recommend, guys, when you get these jewels, it will take some time before you get your hands on one of these, but when you get them, put them in a helm that you might use across multiple characters, or at least on the same character but across different builds. Because if you were to put it in, say, like, I don't know, a weapon or a shield or something, that's gonna always need to be used by like a certain build that fits that. Whereas G-Face, I would think, fits on most Warlock builds, and as long as they're using some sort of physical skill to attack, you're going to benefit from the stats on this jewel within the helm, right? So my advice would be to put these uber rare jewels in helms, but you guys do as you wish. You know, body armors are another option, although again, I feel like locking in a certain body armor to a build might limit as to what kind of builds you can make, whereas helm, it's kind of an inconsequential slot for the most part, right? And G-Face is about as good as you're going to do in a melee slot anyway. Okay, so I don't want to get too distracted there. So we've got the Doom for the weapon, we've got the G-Face with the new jewel. Again, you can put any jewel in there, guys, just the regular enhanced damage jewel will do fine. We've got the Fortitude, right, for the faster cast rate and enhanced damage. Me, I think this is a perfect item here. Some people prefer Enigma. Enigma works great. It gives you the teleport, it gives you the mobility with the faster run walk, and it also gives you the strength. And strength does actually give you quite a bit of damage when you're using something like the Thunderball. In fact, I think I have an Enigma on here, and I'm just going to quickly show you guys. Let's hope I kept it. There's Enigma. I'm just going to quickly show you guys how it really doesn't make much of a difference. And let's swap out the Fortitude. Okay. So, alright, right now this is with the Fortitude. When we swap out the Enigma, you're barely losing any damage there. You can see that, right? The reason, and you're getting the teleport, so it's a trade-off to be considered, but the reason I prefer the Fortitude is, first of all, you get the resistances. You get the extra life, which is quite a bit. You get maximum lightning resist, which is very helpful in Hell. Most importantly, you're getting that extra 25% faster cast rate while still getting 300% enhanced damage, right? So the reason the Enigma sets it off is because the 2 to skills and the 74 strength do give quite a bit of damage. It almost makes up for that 300 enhanced damage, as you can tell, right? So we'll just put that on back on. Seeing is believing, so you're losing 1k on the minimum damage and you're losing 8k on the top end. 8k in exchange for teleport is not a bad deal. Okay, so anyway, moving on. So I just did this for maximum impact. So you guys, same reason I wore these Rens, right? For the 60% enhanced damage and the 20 strength. It's just for that maximum impact on these numbers. Moving on, we got the High Lords for the 30%, 37% deadly strike, as well as the 1 to skills. Of course, gotta have the Phoenix on whenever you're talking Echoing Strike build. Having said that, if you're looking for a budget option, you can use like a Storm Shield for better defense. You can use a Sanctuary Shield for higher resistances. There's all sorts. There's a unique shield. The name of it just escapes me right now, but there's a unique shield. It's like an exceptional unique. It gives like 20% to deadly strike, right? You might get like 50 to life. You can look in Blade Barrier or something like that. I don't remember, but anyway, you can look it up. It's an exceptional unique shield, so you could use that to boost your overall deadly strike, right? Gores again for the deadly strike, and then I told you these rings can be swapped out with any number of crafted or unique rings. Then we've just got the Arax for the faster cast rate, and then once again High Lords for the deadly strike. So that's pretty much it for the gear here, guys. The Mercenary, again, he's wearing Coven. It's one of the new rune words, just for the 5% chance to cast level 10 Liturgy Sigil. Everything else is kind of wasted on him, to be honest, other than maybe the Magic Find and the Life After Kill, but as well as, let's see, Vitality and as well as like the Fire Res, but it's really for the Sigil, let's be honest. The 1 to skills isn't bad, but really it's for the Sigil. He's got a nice ethereal fortitude on for the enhanced damage, and then just the pride. Fortitude is kind of a must when you've got pride, because pride doesn't really give any of its own enhanced damage. You know, you can make the argument that it gets the enhanced damage from the level 20 concentration aura, and you're right, it does, but I don't like not seeing any enhanced damage directly on the item. That's just me. You can still see it's kind of on the low end. You got like 1300 to 3800 damage. It's not huge, and that's after it's boosted by the fanaticism and the concentration and the might aura from himself, right? So it's not huge damage. You can see what a big difference that form makes, though. It gives you almost another 1k. So I do like to put that on there. You can also wear like an Endariel's for increased survivability. I find he survives just fine. I did have a botted here earlier, as well as a, what do you call it, a Reaper's Toll. So he did have a source of life leech from his weapon. But now that we've got the concentration, maybe I'll switch back to the Endariel. So we're just putting Endariel's face back on there instead of the Coven. So he's got a source of life leech, right? Plus 20% increased attack speed's not too shabby either, right? That's another thing that Pride lacks, is it doesn't have a source of increased attack speed. So you could always rock it with like an Andes with like an increased attack speed jewel. You could even put a Treachery if you don't have enough to make Fortitude yet. You know, you'll be fine. So I want to try and keep these videos to about 15 minutes, guys. So I think I'm going to start wrapping this up shortly here. But I just wanted to show you that like the numbers you can hit on Echoing Strike is absolutely nuts. So somehow I gained another 1k in damage. I'm not sure why that is, but anyway. So 166 now instead of 65k damage. So just absolutely absurd damage numbers here with the Doom. And just before we go, another thing I wanted to show you guys. So here we have Breath of the Dying, right? Very comparable to our Doom rune words. So let me just put them both in the inventory here so we can swap back and forth. I want you to take note of the numbers. The minimum and maximum damage. So the damage on Breath of the Dying is actually higher, right? However, I want you to notice something. So right now we've got Breath of the Dying, and the numbers read 57 to 165k damage. Once we put on the Doom, even though the Doom seems to have less damage as far as that two-handed damage is concerned, look what happens to the character screen. Boom, it goes up. So you're gaining about 3k on the minimum damage, which is nothing to sneeze at, and at least 1k on the top end damage. Furthermore, you get the Holy Freeze Aura and the all skills, as well as the 20% deadly strike, which you do not have on the Breath of the Dying. So contrary to like your immediate reaction to think, you know, something like a botted T-Mall would be the best option, even though you've got the dual leech on there and you've got some other kind of fringe benefits, let's say like the 30 tall attributes is nice, It just does not. Sorry about that alarm, guys. That's my 15-minute alarm. Yeah, but okay, so let's wrap up this video. But I just wanted to say, bought it. It just does not hold a candle to Doom. I mean, like, yeah, it does hold a candle to it. They're comparable, but this one is the clear winner. Not to mention the 20% deadly strike, which again is the difference between having something like 87% and only 67%, which now is bringing you closer to like a 50-50 roll on the deadly strike rather than a 100% roll, right? So I think it's a great weapon. I also like the protective effect of Holy Freeze. If you're playing hardcore, it's definitely a big consideration. So there you go, guys. Crazy damage numbers. Couple different options. In the next video, we're going to explore some different uh, variations on the weapons and on the gear and stuff like that for the Echoing Strike builds. And then after that, we're going to explore some other builds, a summoner build, a fire warlock, a hybrid warlock, and a bow warlock as well. We're going to go more into depth. So that's it for now, guys. Thank you. Catch you in the next one.